in the moment and never underestimate the power you have to make the world a better place. Also, remember to give God thanks in everything that you do. Hello there. Thanks for joining us on another insightful edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. We have some educational features lined up just for you, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Public passenger vehicle operators and commercial carriers, renew your road license online. It's as easy as 1-2 click. Visit the Transport Authority website at www.ta.org.jm. Choose your license type and click Apply Now. Sign in or create an account with your email address and complete the application process, uploading all relevant documents. Make payment using a debit or credit card. Once your application is approved, the Transport Authority will email you to collect your sticker. Pick up your sticker in office or utilize our courier service. Once the sticker is collected, your digital road license will be emailed to you. For more information, call the Transport Authority toll-free at 888-991-5687.
Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, March 6, 2024. The government will be renewing Jamaica's catastrophe bond coverage for 4 years, spanning 2024 to 2027. This is to provide financial protection against losses incurred from named storms for 4 Atlantic tropical cyclone seasons ending in December 2027. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, made the disclosure during Tuesday's sitting of the Standing Finance Committee of Parliament, which is reviewing the 2024-2025 estimates of expenditure. In 2021, Jamaica became the first small country globally to independently sponsor a catastrophe bond that provided protection of up to $185 million for 3 hurricane seasons from 2021 to 2023.
We intend to renew or to enter into a new catastrophe bond that will cover us for 4 hurricane seasons, 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. And I dare say that is something that we should do just continually, just to make sure that we are not set back by such an occurrence.
Minister Clark points out that Jamaica is very vulnerable to natural disasters, which can have a deleterious impact on the country's fiscal trajectory.
We can't avoid economic shocks. Most of them are outside of our control. They're global in their sources, and natural disasters are clearly outside of our control. But what we aim to do is to be in a position where we can bounce back and bounce back quickly. And hence, we need to be in a position where fiscal resources become available in the event of a major natural disaster shock.
The government is undertaking a massive $574 million investment to rehabilitate the Twickenham Park Fish Pond facility to expand tilapia production. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, broke ground recently at the St. Catherine facility. Among the scope of work is the construction of a hatchery building and a tertiary-level sewage treatment plant. The project will also involve an off-grid solar system, a mechanical wheel bath, a rainwater harvesting and storage system, and an asphalted concrete parking lot. Rehabilitation of the Twickenham Park Fish Pond is also to cover installation of a warning system for the hatchery, as well as procurement of a backup generator system and access control system. The guardhouse and washroom will also be restored.
Other notable outcomes from the project includes the revitalization of unused ponds and helping new entrants to come into the industry. We have invested some resources in Ebony Park to bring back up their fish ponds and to use Ebony Park as a base to train the next generation of fish farmers.
Director of the Aquaculture Division at the National Fisheries Authority, Avery Smichael, says the project is a long-awaited dream.
It's actually a groundbreaking achievement for the Jamaica Fisheries Division, especially in the sense that for the further development of our aquaculture programs, we applaud and we welcome the opportunity for ensuring that we have become modernized and technology-driven.
The project is funded partly by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JIS, with support from the World Bank. A call is being made for stakeholders in the agriculture sector to implement the necessary measures against climate change to safeguard and increase their production. Minister with responsibility for climate change, Senator Matthew Samuda, says this is necessary as the sector is a critical area of economic growth for the country.
It is why Jamaica is currently on track to invest some $270 million in irrigation in the plains of St. Elizabeth, some of our most productive lands and most resilient lands to the threats of climate change. It is why we're doing the irrigation plans for Trelawney and St. Mary as we speak. Because we know that productive lands that are sufficiently above sea level, that have access to water, are critical to our nation's not just survival, but future.
Minister Samuda was addressing the College of Agriculture, Science and Education's Research Day and Symposium recently. He maintained that while the government was putting resilience plans in place, such discussions must be had with young farmers for them to understand why investment choices are made. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang is urging stakeholders to collaborate with schools to increase the level of safety for students. He made the remark while delivering greetings at the Sam Sharp Teachers College Research Day recently. The minister's comments were in response to the outcome of a national assessment of perception of school safety, which was undertaken in 2023 by the Ministries of National Security and Education.
It enables us to capture the safety and security perception among students, teachers, principals, and parents of primary and high schools across the country. We found that students who spent more time at school felt safer. Extended day schools were perceived safer than whole day and shift schools. As a matter of fact, students felt less safe off campus than they are on campus, which indicates that while the school campus may provide some degree of buffer from things that may threaten their safety and security, their off-campus commute experience exposes them to events that makes them feel even less secure.
Dr. Chang says the data indicated that students' academic performance increased in alignment with their perceived level of safety and security at school. He asserts that the findings reinforce the approach that government has been taking towards citizen security, such as the Citizen Security Plan.
Our response, therefore, is to design a comprehensive, coordinated, and integrated program to improve citizen security, one that extends beyond traditional national security and law enforcement approaches and include measures that will address the root cause of social issues. Hence the very strong correlation between our work in crime prevention with our school system.
And finally, Minister of Labour and Social Security Pernell Charles Jr. is advancing discussions on the Social Protection for Increased Resilience and Opportunity project. Minister Charles recently met with the World Bank Group's Human Development Program leader for Latin America and the Caribbean to discuss the matter. The project is funded by the World Bank and aims to strengthen Jamaica's social protection programs and systems by improving resilience and increasing opportunities for the population. It will also facilitate the implementation of systems and human resource for effective disaster risk management response and the strengthening of labor market services to improve employment outcomes and support vulnerable groups. Additionally, the project includes a contingency emergency response component to facilitate funding for national emergencies. The project is valued at $20 million and is expected to commence in June 2024 and continue for 6 years. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
Some parents may experience behavioral problems from their children. The child may be acting out, and whatever the cause and action, they all deserve a second chance to change their attitude and behavior. The government has created a program geared towards rehabilitating children going through that phase. Come, let's take a look.
Scenario 1. A child is caught desecrating a building. To him or her, it is fun. After all, they are not hurting anyone. Scenario 2. Teenage boy meets girl. They fall in love. They decide to do the do. These scenarios seem somewhat innocent until... In scenario 1, that child is charged with vandalism because the building is the property of someone and it will cost them a lot of money to undo the damage done by said child. In scenario 2, the boy is arrested. As it happens, he is 17 years old and the girl, well, she is 15 years old. What they may not understand is that although they are both teenagers, it is unlawful to have sexual intercourse with a person under the age of 16. So now these young people will be jailed, but do they have to be?
Child diversion in the Ministry of Justice is just our way of diverting children who are considered to be troubled, wayward, or children who just come into contact with the justice system, because not every child that comes into contact with the system is a troubled child. So we offer them rehabilitation and an opportunity to get a second chance.
So how do we get to this stage? Consider the scenarios earlier. Those children are now in the custody of the court. In a traditional judicial system, when found guilty, these persons would find themselves behind bars. However, the Ministry of Justice has reconsidered the fate of such individuals and is offering a better solution. But first, the individuals must accept responsibility. Then, they and their victims, along with the court, must agree to the terms of treatment, that is, child diversion. So, if your child is between the ages of 12 and 17, they are eligible. The program, which began in 2020, is guided by the Child Diversion Act, which was passed in 2018, and is supported by other acts such as the Child Care and Protection Act, which speaks to the best interests of children. Some offenses under Schedule 1 of the Child Diversion Act are simple larceny, malicious destruction of property, and having sexual intercourse with a person under 16. However, judges have autonomy to send cases or offenses to the Child Diversion Program at their discretion. Yes, there is hope for our young people who find themselves on the wrong side of the law. But what does that second chance look like?
It will look different for every child. So what happens once they're referred to us, we have offices across the island. So we have 14 offices. They're sent to one of our offices in the parishes, and the child diversion officer in the parish will do an intake assessment, and we ask the child a lot of questions. We also ask the parents questions to get an understanding of what this child is all about and what home life is like, what school is like, and so on. Once we're able to do that, we then craft what we call a treatment program for that child, an individualized program for the child.
After a treatment plan is drafted, it will need the approval of the Child Diversion Committee. Once approval is given, treatment will commence.
A child might be referred to the program for simple larceny, but when they come to us, we realize that they're using drugs, their educational level is not where it should be. The intervention that is provided will be geared towards not only the simple larceny, but also the other interventions that that child might need. So we might have to refer them to, let's say, the National Council on Drug Abuse, so they might be able to get drug abuse treatment and counseling.
And what about that boy in scenario 2? What hope is there for him?
These children come to us. They might be A students in school. They might be actively participating in sports, other activities, but they're, for whatever reason, they decided to try and they were caught having sexual intercourse. They're referred to us. For a child like that, that comes to the child diversion program, the aim of the program is not to punish them, but it's to ensure that they get the adequate information about the actions that they're taking, how it can affect them, how it can affect others. So it's not a case where, because they're caught committing this offense, that their life should be over. So child diversion basically provides them an opportunity to, when you were in basic school and you had that eraser, or primary school, to just erase that mistake and rewrite it in a more positive way. I just want parents or guardians to know that Child Diversion, the program itself, is here to help our young people develop, and it's here to help them develop in a positive way. So don't consider it punishment, or even if it is, it's not one that is so final that this child cannot go into adulthood without leaving that simple mistake that they made as a child behind.
Sign with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sign with me.
Being able to afford all the things we need is something we all desire. Using our hard-earned money to buy products or even sell those of our own creation is among the ways in which we show our independence. Persons living with disabilities also hope to experience that type of feeling without being left behind. We'll show you how important it is for them to be included in the workforce.
Although it's only been a year since the new Disabilities Act came into effect, the law has been ensuring positive changes in the lives of persons with disabilities. This is especially so as it relates to strides being taken to increase the number of disabled people being employed. Since the Act, local companies have assisted in training young people with disabilities on how to write resumes and prepare for work. Executive Director of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, Dr. Christine Hendricks, says more companies have become proactive.
We have seen definite effort on the part of companies in terms of whether retrofitting their spaces, writing or drafting inclusive policies to include persons with disabilities, or indicating that they would require training for their staff, and engaging us at the JCPD to help to facilitate the provision of materials, so that they can make that training available to their staff.
But training is not the only area where decisive action is being taken. The new act has piqued individuals and companies' interests regarding matters affecting persons with disabilities. Dr. Hendricks says local companies have expressed worry that disabled persons are not applying for positions at their companies. She says the council is helping to change that.
We did indicate to them the availability of the website of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, that whenever they have positions, to make it available to us, because we have a network of the disability sector that we can share, such information with whenever we get it.
The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities is also recruiting to assist in the employment of disabled persons. In its first year as a body corporate, the entity is in the process of transitioning to being more independent from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
So we too are in the process of recruiting, and we ensure that the disability sector is aware of the positions that are available so that they too can apply, because what better example, to demonstrate than, the council having, the people who have disabilities here in its employ.
One such employee is Angine Garrick, the council's receptionist. With the requisite training and her love of interacting with people, Angine's disability has not stopped her from finding gainful employment. She believes the Act will continue to help other members of the disabled community get employed.
There are a lot of persons out there with disability that need assistance and need finding job placement. So yeah, I definitely think it will.
And what of disabled people who want to be self-employed?
Persons with disabilities do have the option of starting their own business, and there are opportunities as we look at financial inclusion and again, during Disabilities Awareness Week in December, we did have, along with the Bank of Jamaica and other entities, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Companies Office of Jamaica, looking at how persons with disabilities are being included in their policies and in their programs to ensure that as they build out financial inclusion, persons with disabilities are not left out.
Dr. Hendricks says the council also empowers individuals with disabilities.
At the JCPD here, we also have programs where persons can apply for and receive grants for economic empowerment for their own business, because you do have persons with disabilities who are into, that independence and wanting to become their own bosses, and so they do have that opportunity as well. So that can be counted, in the whole employment space.
All creators, join the JIS Creators Challenge.
We want to see your unique perspective on why you love Jamaica.
Whether it's through a Jamaican adventure, arts and craftsmanship, or Jamaican cuisine.
Or party lifestyle, or a celebration of our Otamaniwan people culture.
Unleash your creativity in a video 1 minute or less, showcasing why you love Jamaica.
Upload your video to your socials and tag JIS by March 8th.
Follow us on all our platforms for more info
on how to enter and prizes to be won. Stay tuned!
Your health should be your #1 priority for a long and fulfilling life. It starts with establishing a balanced diet and making sure you get some amount of exercise. We'll show you how the government is educating persons on that journey.
COVID has taught us many things, and among those is that the dynamics of our environment has shifted somewhat in terms of how people think about themselves in their natural space. I mean, one of the greatest manifestations of that is the workplace. The workplace has changed because of COVID, because Jamaicans, the global citizen, have come to terms with their mortality, now so more than any other time in the world. Because COVID, as I said, has been the greatest equalizer known to man during this last 100 years. Everybody was afraid at some point in time that COVID would have gotten us and would have taken us out. And it never really mattered whether we had money or were poor, whether we were in North America or in Jamaica. And as a human instinct would dictate, many persons are now rethinking how they work, where they work, what time they work, and the concept of self-care and taking care of self, family, community is becoming a lot more relevant. That represents for us an opportunity, particularly because we exist in a pandemic of lifestyle-related ailments. It is how we live that is facilitating our demise to a large extent. The cardiovascular disease, the salts, the sugars, the fats, the tobacco, the alcohol, the lack of rest, the lack of physical activity. We have to get people nudged into greater health-seeking behavior. It cannot just be about cure. It has to be about prevention. And some of it we may have to legislate, like tobacco legislation, like school nutrition policy and what is served in our schools, like sugary drink, Card Foundation championed that, like the right of people to know what's in their foods, front of package labeling. But the reality is that generally Jamaicans don't like to get a checkup. They go doctor when they're sick. So while we single out men for being a little, afraid, it's better to bear the perception of being violated and detecting your prostate troubles early than to wait until it's too late. And at that stage, the violation don't really matter. So we're going to have to be bold about that and engage in greater community outreach. But I think we have to also advocate for people, Jamaicans, to do their annual screening.
Many students may find the primary exit profile, PEP, very challenging, while others are able to manage it without any complaint. Now, do you have a child doing PEP and you're not sure how to help them? Don't fret, we have just the feature to help your child master their exams.
What I liked about the app is that it helped students to understand basics in different subject areas.
I found it wonderful because it helped me to, in my language arts, it helped me to pass my exam.
Tutor is a free application that works on all Android devices by default for students preparing for the primary exit profile exam to practice with. They can talk to the device, whatever device it is. If it's a smartphone, tablet, a Google Home device, or a smart TV, once it's Android. And it asks them questions and they can respond by either typing or talking to the phone.
Talk to Pep Tutor. Sure, let's get Pep Tutor.
The idea came out of a discussion that was on Twitter where persons were complaining about the exam, how difficult it is and how difficult it is to find questions to practice. So, being in IT and always trying to use technology to solve problems, I decided to use technology to try to help them. Currently we have science, mathematics and language arts, and we're working on adding social studies and the ability questions. Before now, I got questions from the practice exams that the students were using to prepare for the PEP exam. And now I have a teacher from my primary school, which is Wakefield Primary School. She's assisting me to put the questions together because I'm not a teacher, I don't know how to test students. So she's preparing the questions and I'm just adding them to it. The app works by simply asking the students questions, and it asks multiple choice questions and short answer questions. So if a parent can sit and go through the questions with the student, if the answer that is provided by the student is incorrect, the app will tell the student that the answer is incorrect and tell them which one is correct or which answer is a correct answer. It doesn't show you how to work out the questions. So if it's a maths question and it says 2 + 3 is 5, it won't show you how to add 2 and 3, but it tells you that the answer is 5 and whatever answer you gave is incorrect. Just like any other exam, is to keep the students practicing constantly. You don't want to wait until the last minute to put them under additional stress and pressure. So from September or even before, even during whatever holidays, to have the students go through the different subject areas, sit with them on the weekends and help them to get prepared. The PEP app will definitely assist students right across the board, whether they're rich, poor, or whether they're in the country or in town, getting better results in the PEP exams. I believe the PEP Tutor app will assist in us achieving our Vision 2030 goal by making access to education a lot easier for students, whether in Kingston or whether in urban or rural areas. And I think, by utilizing technology, will make learning more fun for students, and they will eventually do better.
This is where we leave you on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Be sure to join us tomorrow on this station for all the information you need to know. Until then, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and more offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Bye for now.
Patient Service.